Did you know that 1 in 20 men have ADHD? That's 5.4% of all adult males. But here's the catch. Many of them don't even realize it. ADHD in men isn't just about being distracted or hyperactive. It's about constantly feeling behind, struggling with motivation, and battling self-doubt in ways that go unnoticed. If you've ever felt like life is playing on expert mode while everyone else got the tutorial, this video is for you. Today, we're diving deep into the hidden side of ADHD in men, the symptoms people don't talk about, why it often goes undiagnosed, and how you can take control of it. Let's get into it. When most people think of ADHD, they picture a hyperactive little kid who can't sit still. But ADHD in men can present in many different ways. And no, it's not just about having the attention span of a goldfish watching TikTok. In general, adult male ADHD symptoms fall into two main groups: symptoms of inattention and symptoms of hyperactivity or impulsivity. Here are some examples of the inattention symptoms. You start a conversation but zone out halfway through, suddenly finding yourself wondering if you remembered to close the garage door. You lose your keys, wallet, or phone daily, turning every morning into an unwanted treasure hunt. You jump from one project to another, leaving things unfinished. You miss appointments, forget deadlines, and always feel disorganized. You struggle to focus for long periods, but when something interests you, you can hyper-focus for hours and forget everything else. And for hyperactivity and impulsivity symptoms, you can't sit through a meeting without fidgeting or zoning out. You interrupt people mid-sentence without meaning to. You struggle to wait your turn, whether in a conversation, a line, or traffic. You make impulsive decisions, financially, socially, or emotionally, then regret them later. And here's the kicker. Many men don't realize they have ADHD because they've learned to mask their struggles by working twice as hard or using humor to cover them up. ADHD isn't just about focus. It hits your emotions hard. One of the biggest struggles is something called Rejection Sensitivity Dysphoria, RSD, which means you take failure, rejection, or criticism way harder than most people. Ever had one of these moments? You make a small mistake and overthink it for hours. You miss a text and suddenly assume they're mad at you. You get constructive feedback at work, and it feels like a personal attack. That's RSD. And on top of that, ADHD makes emotional regulation harder. One minute you're fine. The next, you're snapping at someone or completely unmotivated for no reason. You procrastinate on important tasks because just starting them feels overwhelming. And worst of all, you feel like you're not living up to your potential, no matter how hard you try. That feeling of constantly falling short? It's not laziness. It's your brain struggling to process the world in a way that makes sense. So why do so many men go undiagnosed for years? Because ADHD in men doesn't always fit the stereotype. Instead of bouncing off the walls, many guys develop masking behaviors to compensate. For example, they think their struggles are just personality flaws. They weren't hyperactive as kids, so they assume they can't have ADHD. They push through life by overworking, assuming everyone struggles the same way. They believe they're just bad at adulting, when in reality, their brain is wired differently. Most guys don't get diagnosed until their 20s or 30s, after years of feeling like they just weren't trying hard enough. And here's where things get interesting. Men are more likely to struggle with external issues like impulsivity, aggression, or substance use. Women tend to struggle more with inattention, leading to higher rates of anxiety and depression. Both can experience ADHD differently, but the core issue is the same: a brain that processes the world in a way most people don't understand. So, what can you actually do about it? Get informed. The more you understand how ADHD works, the easier it is to work with your brain instead of against it. Use external structure. ADHD brains struggle with self-discipline, so use timers, to-do lists, and accountability partners to keep yourself on track. Seek professional help. Whether it's therapy, coaching, or medication, having the right support system can change everything. Here's the bottom line. ADHD isn't just about distraction, it's about how you process the world. Once you understand that, you can stop blaming yourself and start taking action. If any of this resonated with you, let me know in the comments. Have you ever wondered if you might have ADHD? Or if you've been diagnosed, What's been your biggest struggle? Let's talk about it. And if you found this video helpful, hit that like button and subscribe because I've got more content coming on mental health, mindset, and making life easier for men.